116, I believe, with the scoreline on that.
That was his collective score over 2 games.
Wouldn't be surprised if it did get hit. Of course, he did play it both times, and there it goes.
First ban victor, ladies and gentlemen. The first time we see it in the LPL, it goes 2-0, and now it is sitting on the bench. This is hilarious. And Viger going to be taken off the board as well. Energy Pacemaker really respecting Imp's Callista as they take that off first pick.
Yeah, certainly want to get that away. I guess the other thing we have to mention is this is Energy Pacemaker playing 3 series this weekend. So far they're 3-1. And the fact that they were able to 2-0 and then split with Vici, if they can split here with LGD or do the unthinkable and pick up all 3 points, this Super Week for them, quasi-Super Week, is going to be an absolute amazing turnaround. So very excited to see what they can do.
And we're smack bang in the middle of the LPL here as well. Everything can change as we move towards those playoffs. And Energy Pacemaker, they only need to make it to that top 8.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's still wide open for them to be able to do so. Nah also gets removed. That's going to be taken away from Amazing J, but more likely just one of those bans that you don't want to see Nah getting through. Amazing J does play it when he has to, but does prefer like the carry tops, the Hecarims, the J-Force.
Yeah, Jarvan and Hecarim seem to be almost synonymous here with Amazing J. His Scion also something that we definitely need to mention, but we'll see whether they pick that one up as LGD going to wait for their last ban. Rek'Sai, she's going to sit on the bench here as well. No confusion about gender for us casters.
Yeah, taking that away from Drizzle, not hitting the Lee Sin, not wanting to go with the Rengar. Of course, Drizzle can play the Rek'Sai, but has been favoring the others, and would not be surprised if this was a first pick Hecarim. Very strong champion.
Yeah, and Amazing J just loves getting on that horse as well. Really canters around the battlefield, and we'll see whether he's going to be able to make good use of it. But this is with the likes of Lissandra, Janna, Kassadin. There are so many champions still on the board.
Yeah, Kennen comes to mind when you talk about Acorn. That champion's coming back into the meta. Have to speak about that. Rumble's still available as well. All the big tanky like Scion and Maokai is still there if Acorn wants to take that in the top lane. They really do have their pick of the bunch here. They go for some ambiguous picks. Lissandra, of course, great at kiting as well as that hard CC engage. Throw in PYL's Janna there for good measure. Just such a solid champion.
And he can just feel free to lane with absolutely anyone here on that champion as well. Drizzle looking to pick up his Lee Sin, of course. Very comfortable on that champion as well. Has played in the last 2 games. Both of the victories that Energy Pacemaker managed to secure yesterday.
Yeah, and that's why the Rek'Sai ban kind of confused me, because Drizzle's Lee Sin is definitely his best champion. He looks leagues more comfortable playing that champion than he does anything else. So taking away the Rek'Sai is a bit strange, but we'll give over the Lee Sin. I would not be surprised if that got locked in. Looking for something else out of Raphael. Probably not the KO. Corki gets lost in for Kane.
Yeah, and I like the Corki pickup here as well. And it opens up Raphael to play anything there in that mid lane because, of course, Corki, so much mixed damage here as well. But Imp insta-locks Twitch.
Yeah, and that's a very brave pickup there. Corki, that lane boy. Twitch generally struggles very hard in the lane, so that will be possibly a lane swap. Trying to deal with Amazing J's Hecarim by throwing him into the 2v1. Hecarim not a great 2v1 laner. So that will be probably what LGD is looking to do here, but that was a very aggressive lock-in from Imp. He knew exactly what he wanted.
Oh, yeah, and actually the Yasuo are going to be hovered here, so Raphael might be looking to go towards some sort of AD mid laner. Do have some time here as he switches back over to Lulu, and Shu pretty content with a possible Annie.
Yeah, Annie, very good pickup here. Deals with Twitch in lane very well because no gap closer to get out of that Tibbers. So if you ever get in range, that will be a dead rat. And I really like the Lulu Hecarim combo. Hecarim takes a long time to get tanky. He really does need to get to that second, third item if he goes Trinity Force first. And if you add all that movement speed, gives him some more damage. But more importantly, the shields and the big wild growth, make sure that he is inherently tanky without those items. Gives him a little bit of a buffer during that mid game when he is trying to scale up. And a late game Hecarim, especially from Amazing J, could be something terrifying here. Very immobile carries coming out.
Yeah, but the thing is that we saw LGD run a very similar comp to this earlier on in the week against Gamty, and Gamty looked completely shut out from the game. As soon as these teamfights broke out, Lissandra and Kennen, just a devastating combo.
Yeah, it certainly is that 1-2 punch with either one of them being able to just swoop in, secure one stun, and then it follows in through there. It also means that they're going for a completely different type of peel. This is the best way I think, to play Twitch, where there are so many threats that you cannot dive past the Vi, the Cannon, the Lissandra to get onto the Twitch and lock him down. He's going to be able to flank, open up with that rat-a-tat-tat from any angle he wants, and there's just so much CC that you have to be able to dive through.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that as soon as Imp decides he wants to roam, use those submarine plays made famous by the likes of Deft, of course, on a Samsung lineup himself. So he can come through in that mid game, and they've got Vi with Assault and Battery. They've got Frozen Tomb coming through as well. This Twitch can be out, will be able to secure kills so easily.
Yeah, so there's Imp on his Twitch. It will be, I guess, a tough ask for him to get through the laning phase. They need to dodge the 2v2, you feel, but if they are able to do it, they will be able to get into a very good team fighting phase.
And is this about Energy Pacemaker sort of needing to be dictating the pace to LGD towards the early stages of this game? Because, of course, if LGD managed to get things working exactly how they want to, I mean, Imp would be able to just roam the map and kill everyone after he gets that Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah, this is about Energy Pacemaker needing to get a little bit ahead and then engage the fights and not be engaged upon. Nothing more terrifying than Lissandra flying over a wall.
Yeah, but let's get onto the Rift and see what happens. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with our first match of Day 3. Energy Pacemaker taking on LGD. And it is a best of 2, of course. Energy Pacemaker going to be starting on our blue side today. It's Amazing J making his way towards the top side. And you can see Imp already hanging around up here too, trying to stay on the opposite side of the map to Kane.
Yeah, and that's a really cute move because they've zoned with Cannon and now Twitch is following him in. So unless they really chase into that brush, won't have eyes on where that sneaky rat is. And we see Shu just trying to get some nice harass down onto Schwen there.
Yeah, and Kane actually gets spotted by a ward here on this bottom side as well. So LGD able to work out where this Corki is, actually continuing to walk forward, trying to get some deep vision down. Does manage to get it here by that Gromp, but Amazing J taking some harass here from Acorn and him.
Yeah, it certainly is, but a nice...
Ooh, dangerous stuff here going on in the river so far. Oh, shoot, there's the double stun. First blood already. The support in PYL just destroying Shu.
Yeah, able to get in there. Wow, that was such an aggressive move. And Wayless actually took his W level 1 to ensure that that stun came through. Very patient play out of LGD because you would expect the Lissandra to have that low cooldown Q at level 1 to be able to push out the wave. But very selfless play, able to pick up the first blood.
Might be a little bit of a struggle here in the early laning phase. Of course, that Glitterland's going to be a little bit better than the Ring of Frost to come through from Wayless, but it won't take him too long to be able to get to that level 2. And he's pretty happy to have that extra assist under his belt here as well.
And through that level 1, they get their lane swap. Imp has been able to stack up the wave. That's going to push in his favor, and that puts Hecarim at a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah, they are going to be doing a little bit of jungling here. Of course, Amazing J with that Rampage, able to get a lot of damage down onto these Raptors, but he might actually die to the big one here. This is a problem.
Yeah, it certainly is. Will be able to not clear that out himself. Doesn't want to take any experience off Drizzle either, so he's in a bad spot at the moment, Amazing J. Hecarim really does need to get that 1v1 lane, otherwise he struggles.
Yeah, a little bit of an issue here as Kane really hanging out here on his own in this lane and does actually have his wave pushing into the turret as well.
Yeah, so Kane will maybe even look to reverse a wave, shove it hard after the next one and get it to equalize and then try and freeze after that. But Amazing J, he's joined Imp in the top lane and look at all the harass that comes out of this Twitch.
Yeah, that Contaminate doing some work here to Amazing J as Imp just wanting to keep that poison ticking.
Yeah, and this is a dive possibility right now as well. When on that top side of the map, we'll be able to get behind Cannon coming up as well. Acorn in position, so this is a good position for LGD to be and be able to really pressure out Amazing J early.
Yeah, and that's actually Schwen stealing away the blue buff here as well as Amazing J. Oh, Intelligent Trinket Ward going to be used, but Acorn might find him here. Hits him with a couple of abilities. There's a flash into the Vault Breaker here as well. Denting Blows doing a lot of work. One more auto attack. Acorn flashes for it, and 2 dead already. LGD, they probably weren't watching Energy Pacemaker yesterday.
Yeah, so a little bit of a misplay there with 2 auto attacks being cancelled by Vi, but a very good outcome. Acorn did have to blow the flash because of it, but able to pick up a kill. Getting it over on the top laner, that's very important because Acorn, as you saw, was still level 1. He's been completely denied a farm, but that gets him some early gold. Going to be able to join PYL in this bottom lane now, and he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, completely fine. Wayless as well, not struggling at all in this middle lane, considering the fact that he had to take that Ring of Frost, and Xuen continuing the counter jungle here.
Yeah, and PYL even stopping the back on the other side of the map, now pinging out Drizzle, who's in a little bit of danger.
Yeah, actually, he did steal away the Gromp, so PYL going to take a little bit of damage from this Lee Sin as he auto-attacks him, but nothing to write home about. And Imp might be in a little bit of trouble up here. The Ignite's down on him, but Xuen's here. Shu sort of wanted to get out here as well. Imp, one more Rampage. Amazing J is going to be able to get enough damage. Raphael finally turns it around. Is he going to survive? He does! The horse is amazing and secures the kill.
Yeah, and Dangerous Game maybe coming through there. I didn't see if it was a boost, maybe just some regen. Very nicely played, though, from the Energy Pacemaker lineup. Good collapse coming through, able to pick up a couple of kills in response. Gets the game back on even footing.
Yeah, and Raphael with a nice roam here as well. Wayless was nowhere to be found as Kane getting zoned away here just a little bit. Shuriken not going to find him, but he does have a 2-level advantage on both of these LGD members in the bottom lane, so probably doesn't need to be too frightened.
Yeah, Kane was trying to be cute and just go around and pick up the experience for the cannon creep. Good damage coming out now, though.
Yeah, Phosphorus Bomb, he's sharing the damage amongst these LGD members. Very strong here on this Corki, and hasn't actually been back, so that's just a Doran's Blade.
Yeah, and this is the benefit of having a caster carry against something like an auto-attack carry. Acorn, needs to be careful he doesn't face check this brush.
Yeah, he is actually going to walk in. Does have the auto-attack prime there as well. Doesn't get the stun, though, as the Shuriken not available. Doesn't find Drizzle here as well, but some nice damage to come down, and Shu is actually here in this lane. Raphael went back to base, picked up his Fiendish Codex. That's going to be responded in kind by Wayless on the other side of the map. PYL continuing the roam.
Yeah, another Doran's ring actually coming out for Wayless as well, so he's going for some early game pressure, trying to deny this supportive Lulu the farm. She needs to really get her utility and damage going. Nice wards around this side of the map, spotting out the turret dive here, but let's see if Amazing J can do anything.
Yeah, he's trying to run out of the way here. Oh, dodges the Vault Breaker beautifully and actually uses that devastating charge to create some more distance. Really nice Hecarim play.
Yeah, really nicely done there, but he is going for the Trinity Force, and you have to question that. Understand the fact that he wants to be impactful in this mid game, but Tank Hecarim can get some work done as well, and it is going to be very delayed, maybe somewhere around that 17, 18-minute mark for that first item to come through. So he needs to be careful he doesn't become irrelevant by not being tanky enough to survive all of the CC that's going to come out of this cannon, going to come out of the Lissandra.
Is he just sort of banking on having that wild growth in order to keep him alive in these fights?
Yeah, I really think that is the 1-2 punch they're going for, making sure that they get that down onto the Hecarim as Wayless. Another nice roam coming out. Very good map movement coming from LGD. They're not allowing Energy Pacemaker to get settled in their lanes. They're continually bringing 2 and 3 member, rotating PYL from the top to the bottom, and just ensuring that they're uncertain at all time who's going to be where. It really helps out Vi's early ganking, of course. Very good at ganking if you can hit that Vault Breaker, but otherwise does need to wait for the level 6.
Yeah, Drizzle hanging out here in this top side of the map, looking to try and help out Amazing J if he gets any more attention. One thing that I'd like to mention, though, is the fact that LGD continually have a lot of pressure. Is Shu actually looking for a stun here? The ambush does come through. PWL takes a lot of damage from that devastating charge Rampage, but LGD are going to be okay. And what I was going to say is the fact that Energy Pacemaker, their vision is very admirable this game because they haven't been a team sort of known for that, and LGD definitely are.
Yeah, they certainly haven't. They've got the important parts of the map, the chokes warded, so they can see where the movements are coming through as Drizzle just walks over wards. Still might be able to get in range though.
Yeah, Glacial Path not going to be taken here. There's the Wild Growth just for the knock-up as Raphael very low on mana. Frozen Tomb defensively, but it's going to work as a little bit of a confusing Zhonya's as Raphael gets an Ignite, but he's going to be okay.
Yeah, completely fine. So that's another kill picked up for the Energy Pacemaker lineup. The only danger here is it is going onto the support player. So Shu really needs to make sure he's using this gold to get his team ahead. He's done it by picking up Moby Boots. Now he needs to make sure it goes into wards, goes into those visions so he can continue to track Xuen's movement and help roam around the map.
Yeah, or he could build a Death Cap and just be a gigantic Annie.
There's a potential for that.
I don't know. I think it'd be exciting. Imp, though, going to continue the farm here on this top side, continually having a level advantage despite PYL hanging out just a little bit up there, but Amazing J gets zoned out of quite a bit of experience. Still quite doing quite well as far as that farm is concerned, but Acorn has caught back up.
And the blue buff was actually just taken by Xuen there, so not going to be available.
Are you going to say that the mid lane may have way less mana?
Yeah, way less mana, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dragon going to be started up here as well. Amazing J and Shu waiting to try and get some pressure onto Imp, but that's going to mean the Dragon comes down, and oh, Imp, you're in so much trouble. Actually picks up the Dragon. The Ignite not going to be enough.
Yeah, so Ignite not enough to take him out. He ends up getting through there, and that gives pressure on the bottom side of the map, although Amazing J has been able to pick up a lot of farm in this lane swap. So you have to say, early Dragon versus getting a carry Hecarim going, probably in the Hecarim's favor. Able to bleed a couple of objectives at this point. I think the first Dragon is getting a little bit overrated at the moment. I think that it's definitely worthwhile having, but...
Well, it only sort of starts getting effective once you pick up a couple of items here as well, because a 6% of about 20 ability power, not all that much, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly right. So definitely putting more emphasis into getting the top side of the map secured. Try and hold this Twitch down, and you can see that it's working. 13 CS behind the Corki. Corki doing much better. And now, Amazing J's been able to catch up and get ahead of Acorn.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Corki definitely getting going. Almost has that phage complete halfway through that Trinity Force. You have to think, actually could potentially even go back and pick up that phage in a couple of minions. But Kane, of course, probably wanting to wait until that Trinity Force power spike. And you may think that Energy Pacemaker could put on a fantastic show once both of these Trinity Forces get completed. Yeah,
you certainly can. And PYL needs to be careful here because he hasn't been picking up much experience, and he's in a lane that has been getting repetitively ganked. And being a level 4 Janna against a Hecarim that's been doing a lot of damage is a scary prospect. So needs to make sure that he's playing a very supportive role, not looking to get too aggressive.
And actually, PYL having a ward here in this top side. They don't spot Drizzle, who's looking to come in and try and put some pressure onto Imp. Amazing J, though, able to just come and pick up the farm that he wants because neither PYL or Imp really want to engage on this guy.
Yeah, and I think that shows that they know that Drizzle... Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah, actually, they are engaging. Drizzle actually waiting a little bit before he comes in. Amazing J now wants to turn around. Doesn't have the ultimate available just yet. I don't believe, or is that just... No, it's just... Yeah, it's just about to come back up again as Amazing J going to head back now. But he took a little bit too much damage here before Drizzle came through.
Yeah, Drizzle was very late on trying to go for that engage and then wanted to go for the support AD carry player as we see Xuen in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Shu actually wants to try and turn this one around. Assault and Battery comes down. Kane takes half of his health as Acorn tries to get in there. Phosphorus Bomb, so much damage as Amazing J comes around as well. Just rampages onto Shu. He doesn't even get an assist for that one as Kane just has so much damage.
And once again, that is brilliant ward coverage in the bottom lane. Look how much it has lit up throughout the entrances into the area. Just being able to spot out exactly where they're coming from. And that was really nicely played by the duo lane. In the bottom lane, they're going to pick up the first turret in the game, although it will be responded in kind. But that's 109, 110 CS Corki, who's right on point for picking up a 13-minute Trinity Force here, and that's a scary prospect.
Yeah, and we were talking about the fact that Raphael played fantastically yesterday, but Kane also had a brilliant showing. And now up against Imp, the world champion here on Twitch. Of course, one of the champions that he was known for, but maybe has fallen out of the meta here just a little bit. And Corki, most definitely relevant.
Yeah, Corki definitely is relevant. Late game Twitch is just going to output way more damage because of all of the AoE that comes through. Imp has actually got himself to a very respectable position for Twitch at this point in the game, especially going into the lineup that he's against. Being able to farm and keep up with the carries is a very good thing for the LGD lineup. It puts their team fights in a more accelerated position than maybe they thought they would be if they weren't able to get this lane swap. And it has meant that he's been able to pick up the Blade of the Ruin King at the same time that the Trinity Forces come through, which open up so many ganks in that mid lane.
And Kane continually pushing up this bottom side. Might actually be in a little bit of an interesting position, but of course Drizzle and Raphael sort of hanging around to down here. Now going to be able to clear out the ward there, and the Scuttle Crab might be the next thing to look at. Shu, also the fastest little girl ever. Going to be sprinting around this map, trying to get some vision here to protect this Corki as he continues his Trinity Force-powered onslaught against these turrets.
Yeah, and has already picked up the Distortion enchant on those boots. Wants to make sure the Flash Tibbers is available as much as possible. Recognizing that they need picks, not big team fights, and maybe even looking for a dive now onto Acorn.
Yeah, Acorn doesn't have a Zhonya's to speak of. He's going to flash and lightning rush himself to safety. But that could mean Energy Pacemaker gets some time with this inner turret.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be that way. And that's so much of the engage tool gone as, wow, that was a chunking Glitter Lance there. And getting rid of the flash on the cannon just means that he can't be the one that engages the fight. Now it has to either be the Insulted Battery coming through or that Lissandra getting a very nice Glacial Path. And the tier 2 turret falls Atlas. They're able to pick it up.
Yeah, so that's 2 turrets now to 1 here in favor of Energy Pacemaker, and they're using their Corki to take objectives. This is things that we've been talking about Chinese teams not necessarily making use of, and this time they are utilizing it. And you have to think that, I mean, that might be what Imp wants to be doing here on this Twitch, really wanting to move around the map now that he has that Blade of the Ruined King, but it's been Kane making the moves.
Yeah, so Imp wants to be able to set up ganks. Twitch still a very poor turret sieging AD carry. On the other side, I think a lot of the credit actually has to go to the support player, Annie just being able to put so much inherent pressure on at the moment with all of that movement speed coming out, as well as the Tibbers. Acorn just isn't in a position to be able to survive all the burst damage that's going to come out of the Annie, the CC, as well as the Corki, which puts him in a better position. I guess the Lulu pickup has really blocked a lot of the roams you would expect to see coming out of a Twitch once he's picked up that Blade of the Ruined King, with the pressure of the wild growth being able to be put down and just be able to walk out of the ganks. Isn't really able to make much happen around the map at this point.
Yeah, and of course, Raphael also able to push out this wave a lot, which stops Wayless from getting into other lanes. Of course, that Glacial Path generally making Lissandra a fantastic roaming champion.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's something that is undervalued about Lulu, her ability to be able to neutralize aggressive lanes as we see another turret siege coming through, and the 3rd turret of the game being picked up. Acorn's going back. They might even be able to grab a Dragon off this, although teleport is available, but as you can see, they've sent Imp back top lane.
Yeah, Imp now deciding to move back down towards this bottom side. As you can see, the vision is definitely there for LGD. They know what's going on, but you can see Energy Pacemaker, they have wards scattered everywhere around this dragon.
Yeah, Energy Pacemaker's control over the bottom side of the map, particularly all game, has been relatively good. They had a couple of really nice key wards around the top side of the map when Amazing J was being turret dove repetitively, but after that they just put so much focus on the bottom side of the map, picked themselves up 2 turrets and then the mid turret, and their vision game over an area, we spoke about this yesterday, you don't have to light up the whole map with wards, just the next objective that you're looking to secure, and you can see exactly from where their focus is that they wanted that bottom lane, they wanted the mid turret, and they've also picked up the Baron from it, so fantastic effort from Drizzle and Shu to be able to light up that area.
Yeah, and we'll see whether this vision does transfer over to the other side of the map and how Energy Pacemaker managed to do that, of course, because that outer turret in the top lane is sticking out like a sore thumb here on the map.
Yeah, it certainly is, but at this point, the Hecarim is getting a little bit more tanky now, being able to pick up the Glacial Shroud as well as some MR for himself, so he'll be able to sit in that lane, continue to split push, and I guess take that turret whenever he wants because he has the teleport available, whereas it's really up to LGD with this mid-game team fighting comp to be able to get a couple of, I guess, 4-on-4s or 5v5s and try and dictate the flow of the game a little bit.
And you can see LGD, they did manage to steal away the blue buff here as the Dragon fell down in favor of Energy Pacemaker, but of course a blue buff not quite going to be as good as a Dragon.
No, it certainly wasn't, and that was the first time where they actually sent Imp mid just then, looking for a little bit of a gank, but was fantastically spotted out by some wards around the corner. So that's what the focus is now on for LGD. As you can see, PYL here looking to clear up some paths for the Twitch to be able to stealth in, and he's going to be contested very heavily for it.
Yeah, actually, Shu is going to be able to get rid of this pink ward. Amazing J getting slicing Maelstrom as he wants to fight Akon here on the bottom side. Akon, though, just has so much harassment on this cannon.
Yeah, there's another 2 members coming down the river. That's why Amazing J's scared.
Yeah, there's the Onslaught of Shadows actually into the Assault and Battery, and Twitch is there, the Contaminate after the cask, and he is easily able to secure that kill.
Amazing J got one in return, and they're going to trade turrets here, and the turret pushing in the top lane is so much quicker. LGD need to make sure they don't overcommit here.
Yeah, Frozen Tomb going to be used onto Raphael, who's holding onto that wild growth. He's not going to die here as the bottom tower falls down, but the inner in the top side of the map is going to fall in response. Wayless could almost take down that outer turret in the mid lane as we have a little bit of a pause situation, but Imp able to secure that bottom outer. And Acorn now going to have to go back to a top lane that is without turrets.
Yeah, so completely no top lane turrets, no bottom lane turrets, and still a mid lane turret. Oh, wow.
There's the flash tippers. Acorn's in so much trouble. The Zhonya's is there. The rocket just soars through him, but Energy Pacemaker just with so much momentum at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and importantly, giving it over to the AD carry, Kane. He's really started to get going now. Highest CS in the game apart from the mid laner, Wayless, who's just farming up an absolute storm on Lissandra. He's got his Trinity Force and Sork Boots, and whilst we credited how good this late game team fight will be out of LGD, it's not going to be the same if they can't get through this rough mid-game patch that Corky's going to put on.
Yeah, and look at their transition of vision as well. This is the thing that you were talking about that they have to focus on. All of their wards now towards that top side of the map so they could secure the inner and outer turrets in the top side. Energy Pacemaker are playing like a team that have planned every step of the way.
Yeah, exactly right. And yeah, we mentioned it repetitively. All you need to do is light up the area of the map where the next objective is. So they wanted the top 2 turrets. They completely sacked all their wards on the bottom side of the map and just moved the double Sightstone users into the top side of the map, got that completely set up. Now that they want the Dragon control again that's up in 2 minutes, look at exactly what they did. They swept out, they secured the Scuttle Crab. Now they're moving back into the river. Once again, double Sightstone users together, making sure they're getting that nice deep vision.
Yeah, and this is play that we're expecting out of the likes of PYL. Of course, arguably one of the best Chinese support players in the scene thus far. But of course, it's been Shu just walking around this map as Annie, super fast, now has an Aegis as well. Of course, this is a 3-1-2 support Annie that's able to supply a lot more stats for his team.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that is a difference. You have to credit, I guess, PYL because he's done a lot with limited resources. He hasn't been as involved as what Shu has been, but Shu has used his gold to great effect and really been able to secure a lot of key vision for his team. And you can see he is repetitively looking around, trying to secure pressure areas of the map for his team.
And the Dragon is going to be up in a minute here. Energy Pacemaker just pushing out this big wave on the top side. Acorn waiting in the wings, wants to continue the split push. Teleports available across the board as the blue buff going to receive some attention. But the horse is there, the guardsman horse. They are going to be able to secure this one here as well. Drizzle hanging around about just to see whether he can add his pressure. And Acorn just going to head back to base here as well. And LGD, they just look stumped.
Yeah, LGD are at the point now where I guess they're a little bit behind. EP have played this early game well, but it's only a 800 gold lead. So LGD definitely still in this. They're down some objectives, which means if they are able to win their team fights, they're going to be able to get a lead very quickly because there's just so much more gold available on the map. But the danger here is that Hecarim's getting rolling. He's going to be that tanky late game Hecarim now. The lane swap definitely held him down, but it just didn't do enough. And we see right now that LGD, they just are looking for fights, but not able to find exactly what they want.
Yeah, actually, Amazing J going aggressive onto Acorn here on the top side. Slicing Maelstrom going to be baited out as Schwen just going to die. Kane has so much burst damage. As Amazing J and Acorn, with a swap of ultimates there on the top side, you have to think that Acorn not having his now that his flash is available, that's a big deal for the next Dragon.
Yeah, that's exactly what Amazing J was doing there, making sure Acorn couldn't teleport and become that key member in the team fight. Amazing J is very happy using his ultimate in an offensive way to stop the teleport, if it means that Slicing Maelstrom won't be going across 5 members of his team. So very well played there, able to stop Acorn being able to respond to anything, and they pick up a Dragon for it as well as a kill.
Yeah, beautiful play coming through. Of course, the gold is nothing at the moment. It's about 1.5 thousand, which we can't really talk about, but the map control coming through from Energy Pacemaker, their Dragon control, just the objective control that they have across the board is fantastic. And Kane on this Corky. I mean, we've been talking about Corkys being incredibly strong throughout the LPL thus far, and Kane is no exception here.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's having a great game, but he's about to die.
Yeah, okay, Imp's going to find him. There's a Frozen Tomb, and yeah, he's dead.
Yep, so that was a nice little bit of a gank rush, finally getting some vision a little bit closer. All of the vision on Energy Pacemaker was more towards the enemy's jungle because of how far up they've been able to play, but nice pocket of vision secured by LGD lends itself to a gank, and even with that QSS wasn't able to survive.
Yeah, and this outer turret in the mid lane very, very low on the side of LGD. They've got a bit of money sitting there ready to be taken. We haven't mentioned Imp too much. Now on 1-1 and 2. Does have the Ghost Blade available as well. Very purple is this rat. And does have a lot of burst damage to potentially come through. Now, didn't even pop the Rat-a-tat-tat to be able to pick up that last kill.
Yeah, so just trusted himself to be able to grab it with the ultimate coming through from Wayless. And it looks like Imp is transitioning into that nice 3-item build. Probably pick up the Last Whisper next to make sure he can slice through of all of Hecarim's. More aggressive option would, of course, be that Infinity Edge. But he's got all the attack speed he needs. The double activates make him a potent duelist at this point of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe not as strong as a Corki, who still has so much burst damage. But he's definitely in a position where if he unloads on a team fight, he's going to be able to get some damage down.
Yeah, and what do you think about Amazing J just sitting on this phage for quite some time? Do you think that he effectively sort of identified the fact that he needs to be tankier faster?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. I think that when he got a kill, he was like, okay, maybe I can go a little bit more aggressive, but then he saw exactly what the enemy team was bringing, the fact that they're going to need to team fight. He's not going to be allowed to split push continually, and that, I guess, forced him into more of a build. And you can see once again how much vision is being controlled and denied from this Energy Pacemaker lineup. A lot of the wards from LGD right now are so deep, and you can see 3 pink wards completely useless because they're on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, and this creep wave is pushing up right towards that inhibitor turret here as well, as Amazing J continuously just rampaging over these creeps. You can see the rest of Energy Pacemaker moving as a team. Imp going for a submarine play. Actually gets hit by a rampage as Amazing J gets stunned up there just a little bit. Going to use his ultimate to get out. Howling Gale not going to find him. Amazing J trying to run and sort of cantering about like a strange person. But in the end, he is going to fall down.
Yeah, he fell down and this push came out mid lane in response. They were able to pick up a turret. So once again, Energy Pacemaker recognizing that one of their members are caught. They couldn't get across to support, but they had enough members in the mid lane to be able to push that one out. Tier 2 turret in the favor of Energy Pacemaker. That mid lane turret was on a breath of health, so it was always going to fall. But overall, very nice play. All the outer turrets gone now, but the map is opened up for LGD, and that's what they've been waiting for. They're in a position now, if Abyssal Scepter comes through from Acorn, he's going to be completely fine in these team fights. They're just so strong in, I guess, the 5v5s that Energy Pacemaker, whilst playing the early game well, still need to be extremely careful of this late game.
Yeah, and there's the fact that, Energy Pacemaker have managed to move around this map beautifully well. We've credited them on that quite a lot. They've taken out every single inner and outer turret, but, of course, haven't been able to be matching the farm here of LGD, and the gold is incredibly close.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you can see they're getting a little bit more desperate. They started up the Baron, trying to sneak that one away. They're looking for a way to be able to close out this game within the next 5 minutes before Imp grabs that last Whisper, before the Abyssal is finished up, and it's just 5v5. Whoa.
Yeah, Imp just destroys Raphael, goes on to Shu afterwards there as well, and this is what you were talking about. Before Imp finishes the last Whisper, I think it's already getting to danger point.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you just saw how much damage Imp was able to put out there against no armor on this Lulu, and Kane might be careful here.
Yeah, actually, Kane gets Assault and Battery. Valkyries over the wall brings Schwen very, very close to the enemy team. Drizzle taking a lot of damage from Imp here at the same time as Schwen just chases out the members of Energy Pacemaker. Kane, nice QSS, going to get him to safety, but not quite, as Acorn just going to get Tibbers after that auto attack comes through. And LGD, this is their time to shine. Finally, they're getting the team fights they're looking for.
Yeah, and fighting an AoE team in a choke point in a jungle, that is complete suicide from Energy Pacemaker. So much damage coming out in the confined spaces will lead to another turret. Now they've secured a 3,000 gold lead, and this is what I was speaking about, Atlas. It can get so dangerous if there is so much standing gold available. Being able to win small team fights just lends itself to be able to catapult yourself into the lead.
Yeah, and as you can see the replay, we've got Kane getting caught out here, and Drizzle trying to do some work, but they just can't in this choke.
Yeah, Energy Pacemaker are just fighting in completely disappointing terrain for themselves. You saw the Slicing Maelstrom took up the whole area. All of the AoE coming out of Wayless were able to secure it, and it was just not a favorable team fight.
Yeah, it's sort of impossible, of course. Shu did manage to survive, so that is something, and the gold's still very, very close here from Energy Pacemaker, but it almost feels like their time to shine is now a little bit over.
Yeah, it certainly does. It feels like the team fighting comp that comes out of LGD is just too good at this point. Last Whisper is picked up. Abyssal is picked up in the top lane for Acorn. Void Staff is picked up in the mid lane. Wayless was waiting on that. That is just such a massive 3-item spike across 3 champions.
Oh, the steal coming through from Drizzle, though, is the Ring of Frost going to try and do some work locking him down. They do get the kill in response, but Shu's going to get exploded. That is 2 for nothing in favor of LGD, and they could even turn around and take a Baron off that.
Yeah, they certainly can, because they didn't have to use all of their ultimates. Yeah, they used the Vi and the Lissandra ultimate, but Slicing Maelstrom still available, Imp's ultimate still available, and to chase a team like that into a Baron pit is just going to end up ugly. But it looks like Energy Pacemaker don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, Acorn does still have his Slicing Maelstrom, as you mentioned. It's going to be very, very frightening, but Onslaught of Shadows is there. Of course, the Wild Growth as well. There's actually a zoning Slicing Maelstrom to come down. Only hits Amazing J. He onslaughts right into the middle of the team as Acorn Zonyas himself, but Kane, he's going to die. Imp is going very, very low, but he's got so much damage. Finally falls down as Wayless comes through. Not a lot of mana here on this Lulu, but it's enough to be able to secure this horse. Drizzle finally comes back around. The Baron ended up falling as LGD took that one, and Shu again, the very squishy Annie, in a lot of trouble. Tibbers to come through, but there's no stun. And Drizzle, it's the opposite situation because now he's the only one alive.
Yeah, and Imp's play in that team fight was beautiful. He actually stealthed past the team to get onto Kane and make sure he was taken out. Otherwise, the team fight could have gone horribly wrong. But fantastic play from the Twitch player, making sure he's securing the key targets, using him almost like that assassin. And LGD now, 6,000 gold in the lead. We were speaking about how well Energy Pacemaker played the early game, but it just looks like it's run out of time.
Yeah, it's almost like they've past the expiry date, and you were talking about desperation moves towards Baron, desperation plays to come through from Energy Pacemaker. They know that they've got a bit of a time limit here with these comps, and we've seen things be turned around, I mean, despite the champion pickups, but at the moment, Energy Pacemaker look to be definitely on the ropes, and LGD's comp, I mean, they just play this Kennen Lissandra so beautifully.
Yeah, they certainly do. Acorn's a great Kennen player, and you saw even in the lane swap, he's now been able to get himself a 30 CS advantage over his other team member. And Raphael, we said that he was playing very well on the Victor. Different champion, yes, but 4-1-6 on the side of Wayless, 50 CS advantage.
Yeah,
He's come to play Lissandra, such a key pickup for this LGD lineup, and just really augments exactly what they want to do in the team fights.
Yeah, and, you know, Wayless's Lissandra yesterday was equally as impressive. Just, I find it really strange that LGD seem to be able to get these comps so incredibly often.
Yeah, such a good team fighting composition, and really was no downside. They were able to get the lane swap, and that was the only thing you really felt would be able to keep Energy Pacemaker at an even footing. And now, even though they don't have a great siege composition, Baroned up minions make it so much easier.
Yeah, Amazing J finally able to go towards that Trinity Force, has the Sheen almost completed as Frozen Heart and Spirit Visage are there. So he's pretty tanky as Schwen taking a little bit of Gatling gun damage, but not going to worry about it too much.
Yeah, and they have to back away there because look at how poor their wave control is over the top half of the map. That massive minion wave about to crash into the turret, so they want to get someone up there as soon as possible to be able to secure that. All the creeps in the mid lane going over to Wayless, who will just grow his minion wave, minion lead even further.
Yeah, things looking a little bit dangerous. Has another needlessly large rod on top of the fact that he has 40% cooldown reduction, some extra stasis in that Zonya's Hourglass. This is a very, very scary Lissandra, although he's now trying to survive a very uncomfortable position.
Yeah, he certainly is. They actually were able to catch him out, which is fantastic, but they need to be careful here because Imp's still in the bottom lane, so he could push at any moment. No objective going to be able to be picked up, but at least stopping the about 50 seconds of the Baron Duff team to be able to, I guess, capture one of their members.
Yeah, Acorn just going to head back to this top side of the map, try and get that one pushing out as Amazing J going to take away these puppies. And now just going to canter throughout the jungle. Just wants to become the big horse that we've seen just get invincible towards the later stages of the game, but not really having the impact as this Hecarim as he otherwise would like. Actually used his teleport on to pick up the kill onto Wayless, of course.
Yeah, so we saw right there that now LGD with their leaders starting to play around their vision. Energy Pacemaker at the start of this game were controlling majority of the map, but since the swing came through, LGD, a lot of deep pink wards, those 3 pink wards still there in the bottom half of the jungle, were able to make sure they had Twitch in a position where he was able to, I guess, get in a position to be able to stealth past. And they need to, they're exactly aware of where Energy Pacemaker are, just because they've got so much of the jungle lit up that there's not very many areas they can be. Energy Pacemaker need to be careful around this next dragon, because if they try and fight out in the open, LGD might just be able to win this game.
And remember, Energy Pacemaker have had fantastic control over that dragon. 3-1 now after Drizzle's impressive steal across the wall. But you have to think that this could be dragon number 2 easily secured by LGD if they play their cards right.
Yeah, it certainly can. So they've set up very well for this. Denied a lot of vision. Energy Pacemaker got vision in their own jungle, but nothing in the other side. And looks like they're making a call to maybe push top lane instead of try and contest the dragon. Or maybe even just secure some vision around the Baron area, because they recognize in a 5v5 fight, they're just going to be torn apart.
Yeah, and they just want an opportunity to get something done while they know exactly what LGD are distracted with. The second dragon, not really a big deal. Not something that Energy Pacemaker are too worried about as Amazing J continues the split. And LGD, I mean, yeah, they got second dragon, but Energy Pacemaker, they got a lot of respite here.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I think that whilst second dragon isn't a massive deal, fourth dragon maybe is worth trying to go for a miracle steal, because it puts a lot of pressure on LGD that if they lose a team fight around when the next dragon came up, they are in a position where they might get fifth dragon, and that could be something that tips the game back in EP's favor. However, not going to be the case, just electing to get even more farm onto this top lane Hecarim. LGD pick up the dragon, now looking to clear out some vision around the Baron area.
Actually, Schwen going to get caught here by Amazing J just a little bit, but of course...
He's ridiculously tanky.
Yep. Actually, Randuin's Omen and a Banshee's Veil here for this Vi. Okay, yeah, it's not really getting caught, is it? Like a wall doesn't get caught when someone crashes into it.
And we see that, although Energy Pacemaker's been able to, I guess, secure much more control over the map. They're down 8,000 gold. They lost the Baron. The game looked like it was slipping away, but as you said, they've been able to secure a lot of farm for themselves. That is even maybe the Trinity Force finished off by Hecarim whenever he wants to go back and pick that up. So he's at a nice stage. 3 items, equal with the Cannon nearly in gold still. He is about 1,400 behind, so that's not a lot to write home about here. And Amazing J is a force to be reckoned with.
And not to mention the fact that Last Whisper, now completed for Kayn, does have that Bloodthirster on top of it as well, that QSS, that all-important QSS for the Frozen Tomb to come through. It doesn't really help him too much with that Assault and Battery, of course, Schwen, if he manages to get that Tether. There's nothing that this little Corki is going to be able to do. But what I want to talk about is Wayless, because he now has that Rabbiton's Death Cap, and he almost has every item he could ever want. I mean, what does he build now on top of this? Just a luxury Abyssal Scepter?
Yeah, something along those lines. Maybe an Abyssal Scepter. Maybe he wants to go for some defensive stats and make sure that he can keep himself alive even after all the stasis. The persistent damage that comes out of Lissandra can never be undervalued. But yeah, he's farmed completely amazing. 333 CS at 37 minutes with how much grouping they've done as a team, as well as being able to pick up that impressive scoreline of 4-2-6. And now LGD have complete control of the Baron area, and they're just looking to bait it. The problem is top lane pushing against them, bottom lane pushing against them. They need to be careful that they don't overcommit to this Baron area, because that is a huge couple of creep waves.
Yeah, and you were talking just before about LGD having some lackluster wave control, and yet again it comes to bite them. As Energy Pacemaker now have an opportunity to get this vision control back. This has been a battle of vision and side wave control almost this whole game.
Yeah, it certainly has been, and that is complete control of the Baron area given straight back to Energy Pacemaker. Only the Scuttle Crab really allowing LGD to have any idea what's going on there. So, as you mentioned, just through poor execution of their side lanes, they give up all of their wards, have to recall, stall the game for another couple of minutes. And the danger about this is, yes, you have a superior team fighting comp. Yes, you should be able to win the fight, because you've got a Twitch that has an infinity edge now, and he's going to tear everybody apart. But if you don't, and something goes wrong, someone gets caught out, there is a lot of damage on the side of EP. And with a Lichbane Lulu and all of the outer turrets gone, they can push through extremely quickly if they manage to get a good team fight.
Not to mention if Energy Pacemaker managed to pick up a Baron here as well. If they get any free time with those super buffed up creeps and these double... Oh, this could be a catch to come down. Assault and Battery comes through onto Raphael here in the back line. There's the teleport coming through from Akon. Immediately uses his ultimate as Kane comes through and tries to get the damage down. Imp gonna get rid of Raphael. LGD though, they're exploding. Frozen Tomb onto Schwen of all people. As Drizzle gets out of there. It wasn't Schwen, it was Shu, and Kane's still alive, but the rest of his team is dead. Wayless is going to fall down. Kane, can he make the miracle play as Schwen doesn't have a lot of damage? The Flash Vault Breaker, that's going to do it. And LGD, it was a difficult fight, but they managed to pick it up.
Yeah, it certainly was. A lot of damage coming out of Kane. The impressive thing was how they dealt with Amazing J. That pony dove straight onto Imp, and the collapse from PYL was absolutely amazing. So, overall, a very good team fight from LGD. Akon did his job of zoning Kane out of the whole fight. In fact, slicing Maelstrom'd one person just to make sure he tied up all the damage out of Corki. And in the end, if Amazing J and Corki aren't together hitting the same turrets, there's just not enough damage coming out of this EP lineup.
And they got the catch that they were looking for here as well. This is the thing that's scary, is that Energy Pacemaker wanted that.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was a three-man Tibbers on the back line that started off that fight with Schwen going extremely deep onto Raphael, who honestly didn't have much chance of dying because he's a very strong Lulu at this point in the game. So much flat AP coming out. Really does need to pick up a Void Staff, though, if he's going to become effective in these fights. Has 500 AP.
The thing is, though, I mean, both Amazing J and Akon now have their teleports down, but LGD, they got nothing after that fight.
Yeah, so they weren't able to pick anything up. The reason for that is they just didn't have enough damage to quickly secure the Baron, and you never want to challenge the Drizzle to a smite war. He's just so good at being able to pick up those errant smites when he has the opportunity, and because they knew that he was still alive, the only remaining member of the jungle just didn't allow them to have the luxury of going for that objective.
Yep, Kane getting whimsied, going pretty fast on this little Earth scooter. He's going to be all okay as LGD want to set something up now. And do you think it's up to LGD to maybe do what Energy Pacemaker just tried to do? Because you have to think that if they manage to get the out position onto Energy Pacemaker, that could almost be an instant ace.
Yeah, it certainly can, but look at how well Energy Pacemaker are still controlling vision over this Baron area. They've seeded bottom half of the map because they realize that it's still 2-3 dragons, I think, away from LGD having that 5th dragon. I think this is their third. Yeah, so this is their third now. So that's them equalizing dragons. So unless this game goes for 55 minutes, LGD aren't really at risk of getting that 5th dragon and putting the game out of reach. So it is all about this Baron buff and whether they can get a catch around here in Energy Pacemaker's favor, or whether the superior team fighting comp will come out from LGD and I guess win this game.
Yeah, Energy Pacemaker are coming through, trying to get some vision down. Of course, PYL adamant about continually having wards to put over the backside, but I think he may have ran out of Sightstone options. As Energy Pacemaker just going to start off the Baron.
Yeah, well, Acorn's hit recall, and that's a very bad person to get sent back to base at this point in time. He's so far away that if Energy Pacemaker just roll the dice here, they'll pick up a free Baron.
Yeah, it's down to 3,000 health. Wayless wants to come through. Frozen Tomb's available, but Drizzle gets the Baron. Wayless doesn't do anything and dies. Him now getting collapsed on. He's going to die as well. 3 already dead. Kane is still alive in this fight. The shield's there as well, as Schwen's able to secure it, and somehow 4 are dead for 1.
Yeah, and Acorn was nowhere to be seen, has not used anything, trying to pick up the AD carry off the back so they can't end the game, but he's been caught as well.
Yeah, slicing Maelstrom to come through. He does have that Zhonya's if he wants to use it. Shu needs to be careful, but he's burning. The rat dies, and the ace is secured for Energy Pacemaker. Somehow, 10,000 gold gap, who cares?
Yeah, and all of a sudden, there is a perfectly prepped top lane minion wave that is now Baron's up.
Minion wave.
That is the game, definitely for EP. And in a team fight, they've somehow won it against Alessandra Kennan Twitch at 43 minutes.
And with a Baron call out of nowhere as well. Balls of steel here for Energy Pacemaker at a massive gold deficit. They take the Baron and destroy the game. And it looks like the LPL's just turned on its head.
Yeah, it certainly has. That was LGD's game to lose, and lose they did.
Yeah.
By just a bad recall timing. You mentioned they were running low on wards, and they sent back the top laner without all of that
teleport.
AoE CC with no teleport.
It's ridiculous. LGD, we were crediting them. This was one of the most strategically well-played games from Energy Pacemaker I have ever seen in the early stages. But LGD, they managed to come back. They secured the lead with the team comp that they knew how to play. We saw this yesterday. They had dominating performances, but it just wasn't enough. Energy Pacemaker just able to make the sort of miraculous play in the end.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it was all about controlling vision over the area that was important next. They completely gave up on the Dragon. They recognized that they weren't going to get to the 5th. It was a poor objective to fight over for Dragon number 4. So they put all of their effort into that top side of the map, secured control over the Baron area, and in the end, they were able to take it away, get an advantageous 4v5, and any team comp, even if it is the best team comp, is going to struggle in a 4v5 team fight, and they weren't able to pull it out.
Yeah, especially when Kennen is such a massive part of any kind of team fight. Of course, that slicing Maelstrom is so important to have in these team fights, and Acorn, of course, wasn't there. But I think you have to go back and credit Energy Pacemaker for making the call, for knowing what's going on, for having the tools in order to prep for that Baron and take it exactly when they need to, because this is not an Energy Pacemaker we've seen. And I want to see whether they're going to come back in Game 2 and manage to actually do it again, because I'm starting to believe in the Energy Pacemaker lineup, and we'll see after this break.